Atlantis Volcano gives tips for mega-eruptions. This is the Santorini theory volcano that's believed to have taken place at the time of the exodus of Moses and the tribes of Israel. Around 1630 BC, a supervolcano blew apart the Aegean island of Santorini, north of Crete. It was an event so violent that some theorists say it nurtured the legend of Atlantis. More than 3.5 millennia later, the big blast is yielding forensic clues which helped to search and predict the future of cataclysmic eruptions, scientists said. Bigger than the destruction of Indonesia's Krakatoa of 1883, the Santorini event was the so-called caldera eruption, a kind that happens mercifully only at intervals of tens of thousands of years, sometimes far more. So it was a super eruption of VI 7 or 8. The chamber of the volcano becomes progressively filled with magma but lacks vents from which to discharge this dangerous buildup of gas and molten rock. The pressure cooker culminates in catastrophic ripping off of the top of the volcano and leaving a depression called a caldera, the Spanish word for cauldron. One of the great unknowns is when a caldera-type episode is in the making. That question is a particular concern for Yellowstone Park in Wyoming, one of the biggest volcanoes of the earth. There are about 21 some odd plus supervolcanoes around the world. Yellowstone is truly massive volcano, classified as a high threat by U.S. Geological Survey. And the videos before this one, we did see the GPS area, especially towards the northwest section of Wyoming and towards Hebgen Lake. That is all inflating in Yellowstone. Now, volcanologists led by French-based Timothy Druitt scrutinized crystals of a mineral called feldspar that had been ejected from the Santorini volcanic eruption. They looked for traces of magnesium, strontium, and titanium deposited in waves over thousands of years by the slowly advancing magma. The chemicals they found were a telltale of events over time. From these signatures, the picture that emerges is of final fatal spurts of magma injected, which happened in the last decades, maybe even just final months before that great eruption. The study, reported in journal Nature, chimes with other research that suggests magma reservoirs in supervolcanoes undergo a pulsatory buildup, pulsations of buildup, which probably accelerate before the eruption. So if so, the findings are useful for volcanologists poring over Yellowstone and other hotspots. They could detect such pulses using satellite technology, which records ground deformation over time as a volcano bulges, and ground motion sensors. But only close familiarity helps build a pulse model, which gives a good idea of when a volcano is about to blow its lid. The paper says long-term monitoring of large dormant caldera systems, even in remote parts of the world, is essential if late-stage growth spurts of shallow magma reservoirs are to be detected well in advance of caldera-forming eruptions. Also called the Minoan eruption, this Santorini event spewed out up to 60 cubic kilometers, that's 14.4 cubic miles of material, causing ash clouds that devastated Bronze Age civilizations in the Aegean. Some theorists say that the event inspired Plato's tale, written some 1,300 years later, of a circular island empire inhabited by people of great culture and wealth that sank to the depths of the sea in a single day and night of earthquakes and floods. And we even have, of course, the recanting of roads going up and down under the sea. But then eventually it came up and stayed up, the island of Rhodes in the Aegean, just west of Santorini. This is by Associated France Press on phys.org. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.